Now, when you're looking for a first car, what is it that you're looking for? Is it the car with the longest list in their brochures? One that is a turbocharger? One that's most efficient? Or maybe a hybrid or electric vehicle? Car buyers these days are bogged down with all these kinds of details, but one question remains. How does the car drive and how does it work for you? What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be going back to basics, reviewing this car right here and how it works for you, the Mitsubishi XForce. This has the complete Mitsubishi genuine accessories package, which sets it apart from the other XForces on the road and as well as its competition. I mean, it looks even more aggressive, and as I walk around the car, I'm going to pinpoint those particular parts that you can install in the Mitsubishi XForce. First of all, the front end of the Mitsubishi XForce looks really aggressive. You got this slight underbite right here at the bottom of the lower part of the bumper here. Kind of looks like a pit bull. You've got this T-shaped headlamps here. These are full LEDs. And by the way, the DRLs, they also act as turn signals, and they look amazing, especially at night, giving you a little bit more visibility. Now, with the accessories package, you've got the XForce badge right here on top, which I believe is one of the most important mods that you got. You got to let everyone know, especially the ones that's leaving you behind on the highway, that you've got an XForce. Of course, thanks to the optional packages, you don't have to install that, but you have these two pods right here at the bottom, adding a little bit more to the aforementioned aggressiveness that I told you guys about. Now, heading over to the side profile of the Mitsubishi XForce. By the way, this is the GT trim, the top of the line one, so you get a little bit more extra niceties, especially in the exterior. This one right here is the optional two-tone exterior that you get with the GT package. But with the Mitsubishi General Accessories package, you do have this roof rail on top, this nice molding right here at the bottom of the doors, and yes, this is just some of the little additional extras. I mean, I appreciate that Mitsubishi is one of the few local companies out there that give you the option to add a little bit more extras on your car. I mean, you can go ahead with a third party with some OEMs, but it's still a lot better, in my opinion, if it looks like this going out of the showroom. And a lot of you guys know what I mean. You got these are repeater signals on the side mirrors, 18-inch alloy wheels. You got 195 millimeters of ground clearance here, so you still have a lot to work with, especially with going through those pockmarked roads or for that extra adventure trip during the weekends, or sometimes not the weekends. You got these muscular haunches right here on the rear fender, which makes it look a little wider on the back, but really it's not. It adds a little bit more dynamic look to the side profile. There are no sharp lines whatsoever. Of course, you got the black plastic cladding right here. You got four-wheel disc brakes in a small compact SUV, which is a nice touch as well. Now, Mitsubishi's dynamic shield design continues over right here to the rear of the vehicle. In fact, it also has the same T-shaped lamps here in the back. Those are full LEDs to mimic the front end, and that's not by accident. In fact, you can see a hint of these curves right here that actually look like a part of the, well, kind of mimics the front end's shape. Again, that's not by accident. They want to make sure that the Mitsubishi XForce has some sort of cohesive design, and you can expect that from Mitsubishi moving forward. You got the XForce badge right here. You won't find any trim badges in the back at all. So if you guys want to choose the lower end Mitsubishi XForce and still get the Mitsubishi Genuine Accessories package, I won't fault you for that. You still will have some sort of a great design right here, except you'll be losing out on a lot of some features we'll be talking about inside. Now, you got the shark's fin antenna up top. I know you shark's fin fans out there do appreciate that. I mean, a bee sting or sometimes a printed antenna would be working for me just fine, but you got your shark's fin anyway. Again, some additional bumper pods right here at the bottom. That's part of the genuine accessories package. It looks clean and nice here, especially this huge wing. This wing, by the way, is again part of the optional package that I was talking about, and it really adds that sense of sportiness that people in this particular segment, customers in this segment, are looking for. I mean, they're looking for a budget SUV, but they don't want to have an SUV that looks budget. This one adds a little bit to that. Now, what isn't budget though is a power tailgate. Oh, by the way, this power tailgate has a hands-free feature, so you just kick it right here at the bottom. See, I got the keys now. So the car's locked. I'm just gonna have to kick the bottom here. As you can see, easy as pie. There you go. All right, I'm glad I got that on the first take. And that gives you access to all this space inside here. And this floor, by the way, is a hard plastic floor. It's also a 2-level floor. So if you want to add more space, you can just put it at the lower level. Or if you want to put it up and then need even more space, you can fold these rear seats down. These seats fold in an 80, 20, and 80 configuration. So more versatility in my opinion. Right here in the back, you got some hooks to hang your items here as well, so that they won't jostle around as you're driving aggressively, or as aggressively as you can in the X-Force. And yeah, that's all she wrote about this. Oh, by the way, it also has a tonneau cover. The tonneau cover, by the way, is this lightweight fabric thing that you can just put right on top, but I don't want to put it right there right now because I've got a lot of stuff right here in the back. Anywho, so you got all those features for you. I like how low the loading floor is. So if you got some heavy items, you can easily put it inside, no problems. So one thing I do appreciate about the exterior about the Mitsubishi X-Force is that it's not trying too hard to be hard and sporty, rugged and aggressive. It was able to do that with some nice design details, some flourishes here and there in the side profile as well. It doesn't have to look like a rally car, especially coming from Mitsubishi, which has some sort of rally heritage to it. It just wants to look like a nice SUV, and I think you guys will enjoy it as well. All right, so we're inside the Mitsubishi X-Force, and you can fault it for so many things, but you can't fault it for how mindful and how thoughtful it is for every bit of interior detail that it has. I mean, first of all, you got this soft touch fabric right here in the middle of the dashboard. Instead of having some sort of fake leather right there in the middle, they put in a fabric, this sort of a gray fabric material, which is soft to the touch. Right below, it's got a nice beige trim as well. The interior is black, but you got this beige trim in the middle, plus a nice shelf to put all your stuff in, which is nice. It kind of creates some sort of contrast and cuts the some sort of delineation between the upper and the lower part of the dash. Now, this huge touchscreen infotainment system, Mitsubishi calls this a monolithic screen. I mean, monolithic means it's a significant and large screen right there. But yeah, I would say definitely it's monolithic because of how connected it is to the gauge cluster as well. So it creates a sort of cohesiveness, some sort of overlapping design of the touchscreen, which is nice. I mean, you've got all the drive modes that you need to check here. You got the steering mode, you got your avionics, you got your driving score. The driving score actually helps you with trying to be a better driver. It computes fuel economy, smoothness with acceleration, smoothness with turning, and of course braking. So I try my best to get a good score out of that, but it seems like 86 or 85 would be the best one that I get. So right here you got a nice chunky steering wheel. It's both adjustable for reach and rake, and this steering wheel looks a lot like a carryover from previous Mitsubishis, but I am definitely not complaining about that. Anyway, you've got this nice diamond pattern right here on the side of the door cards. They're hard touch, but at least this design creates some sort of break of the monotony of the interior. Plus you got more of the beige green. I'm not sure if I'm colorblind. You got this green or beige pattern that kind of mimics the middle of the dashboard right there. Let's talk about the seats. The seats, for both the driver and the passenger, they're not power operated, but they are covered in these nice heat protective or heat tech leather seats. These are not leather, they're synthetic leather. And one time I was able to leave the car out under the hot baking sun, and I was expecting to get burned myself inside, but to be fair, no, I was kind of surprised that it was pretty cool to the touch. Not cool, but not scalding hot either. So anyway, continuing over to the center console here, I'm glad that they were able to retain some physical buttons for the AC controls. Everything you need is right there. And I noticed that it has some sort of air purifier as well, Nano EX. It sounds a lot like the stuff from your air conditioning at home. If you got a Panasonic air conditioning, you'll find that same branding right there. I guess they have some sort of partnership with the brand. Speaking of partnership, Yamaha. That's right. They've got Yamaha tuned and branded speakers all around, 8 speakers, and they sound amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is one of the best sounding speakers that I've heard in this particular price point, in this segment, and to hear is to believe. So if you're near a dealership, check this out, give it a try, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. But I'm not an audiophile myself, but I know what I like, and I like this one right here. Now the shifter, it's your standard shifter, no manual modes right here, because it is a relatively easy to drive daily car. So PRNDL, easy. You do have a sport mode button right here on the side of the shifter right here, and you got your drive mode selector. Being the GT model, you've got some additional features like normal. You'll find that on the lower variant as well, but you've got wet, gravel, and mud. And I like the pictures that's showing up on the screen to show what mode you're in. So you got 2 USB ports, one USB-A and USB-C. I'm glad that they were still able to retain a USB-A, but to be honest, USB-C is the way to go for faster charging. You got a 12-volt power socket as well as wireless charging. You need that fast wireless charging because it does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All right, so right here at the second row seats of the Mitsubishi X-Force, I've noticed that you've got a lot of features, a lot of toys to play with. For starters, you've got 2 separate aircon vents right here in the back, so no need to fight over which AC vent would go to who. And you also have the same 2 USB ports, one USB-A and one USB-C. The floor isn't completely flat, but it is comfortably raised up. I mean, you still have some sort of hump right there in the middle, but whoever will be seating right here in this the middle section, the middle seat, won't be hampered by that. I also noticed that you've got these old school locking mechanisms right here, so you don't have one of those fancy ones right here on the side, but you know exactly where it is. So for you guys born and raised in the 90s, 2000s, you still have that right there. I guess it makes it easier for you to snake in some sort of cable or some sort of string to open it up in case you get yourself locked out. But anyway, it is what it is. Now right here on the doors, you do have a nice armrest, outboard armrest, and you can actually use the center seat just like in the Mitsubishi Expander as your armrest. Just folding it down right there. It's a nice chunky armrest. You got 2 cup holders, and I like how big it is. I mean, that's what she said. And you got a nice center armrest here, and you've got another pocket here for your phone, 2 map pockets on each side. So both passengers right here, whoever's sitting in the back, won't be fighting over this. My problem with the back here though is the space. There's a lot of space for your knees, your legs, your feet. Again, the chairs are raised higher up, so you got a lot of space for your feet. I can even fit my entire length of my foot right here in the bottom, which is easy if I wanted to. But the space here on top, not so much. Because of the lower profile of the Mitsubishi X-Force, it does sacrifice a bit of space. But at least it made up for itself with a reclinable seat. I mean, check this out. It can recline all the way back, and once it's reclined, no problem for me, no problems. But anyway, let's take this out for a spin. I want to show you some of the driving features and safety features, and I'll tell you more about the price as well. All right, so we're now behind the wheel, stuck in traffic with the Mitsubishi X-Force. Now, there aren't any Mitsubishi genuine accessories inside the X-Force, but at least you know that you've got some of those bits and pieces on the outside. So when it comes to performance and interior amenities, you won't get any of that. So for starters, the Mitsubishi X-Force is powered by a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. It is unlike its other competition. It doesn't really have a turbocharger to it, but that's to be expected from Mitsubishi. They don't, right now at least in the Philippines, in the local market, they don't have a turbocharged version of the 1.5 liter engine, but it's now made it to a CVT. So we've seen this engine before. It's we found it in the Expander, the Expander Cross. Why am I listing these things down? Those are the only cars that we have them. That's right. So we've got it in the Expander, and although the Expander is pretty different, the 1.5 liter engine was mated to a 4-speed automatic. This time though, it's got a CVT. It makes 105 horsepower and 141 Newton meter torque, which does not sound like much on paper, and it isn't. It really isn't that much on paper. But for some reason, Mitsubishi was able to tune it nicely in a way that if you need the power, you've got it. I mean, if you put your foot down the accelerator, you definitely will get the power. It will lunge forward, whatever you need it. I've never found the power to be lacking at all. If I wanted to overtake like a bus or a truck along a highway road safely, of course, when within legal limits, I can, and I can do so with confidence. Unlike the old 1.5 with a 4-speed automatic in the expander, where I have to take my time. This one, though, it's very responsive, and I like it. This also has 4 different drive modes, being the top of the line GT variant. It does have normal mode, of course. You got wet, gravel, and mud. Plus, you've got a sport mode here as well. So if you need a little bit more acceleration, just head it over to S right here. There's a button right here next to the shifter. Set it to S, and you should be off to the races. Not the car races, though, but the races, race of life. NVH levels are kept at a minimum here. So inside the Mitsubishi XForce, it's pretty quiet. When it comes to performance and handling, when handling at least, the steering wheel feels easy to control, but it's not too light where you're actually detached from the road. I mean, it's not going to be the most responsive car out there. It's no sports car. In fact, it's a crossover SUV. But despite the fact that it's easy to maneuver, it's fairly weighted. So you do have some sort of road feel whenever you're driving this car around, and I like that. You're still attached to the car. It's as if you're one with the car traversing the road. It's not like you're floating around, and that's something that I appreciate with this one. Now with the Mitsubishi XForce, it's also got another trick up its sleeve. It's called active yaw control. So the active yaw control installed in the Mitsubishi XForce isn't going to be the exact same as the Mitsubishi Evo. If you fans of the Mitsubishi Evolution know about this, it has some sort of rev knuckler in the middle in order to make sure that it is planted on the road. But this one right here, it's inspired by the same philosophy, the same principles of that particular technology, but it still maintains that you will be planted on the road despite slippery conditions, despite the amount of G-force that you put in, or the angle of attack during a corner. So yeah, it's going to try its best to make sure that the Mitsubishi XForce is planted on the road and in that particular turning line as much as it can. So usually when I drive Mitsubishi's budget offerings, I don't really expect much when it comes to insulation, but in here they seem to have padded it up quite nicely. Plus, with these Yamaha speakers, these things are really a game changer if you ask me. I mean, I'm not really into music, but for some reason they're able to drown out the outside world, and I find myself in a zen-like state whenever I'm driving with those speakers turned on. I like it, and the vibration is fine because it's a 4-cylinder. It's a good old 4-cylinder. You don't even have a turbocharger to contend with. There's nothing really to it. There's nothing to the engine. It's not a 3-cylinder. It's not a diesel. It's just smooth driving through and through. Except, of course, if you put it in sport mode and you mash the pedal, utilizing all 105 horsepower to the front wheels. There you go. It's again, the thing with CVTs is that, and it's not different with the XForce as well. The thing with CVTs is that if you mash that throttle down, you're only gonna get that ungodly noise that you're gonna get whenever you do it, because the engine will sound very noisy. But if you try to feather the throttle in a way, like just say doing this, and then gradually picking up the pace and the distance between the pedal to the metal, you're still going to get the same acceleration without the noise. That's the thing about CVTs. The reason behind that is that you're always within the power band. You're not going to go out of the power band, unlike other 4-speed automatics. It's always going to reach its optimum gear because it's always in the optimum gear. So you don't have to mash the throttle down. No need for that. Fuel economy of the Mitsubishi XForce, it's pretty good. I mean, even for a non-hybrid or non-electric, it's pretty good. You've got 9 to 10 kilometers per liter in the city, 8 if it's really heavy traffic. And then once you get out on the highway, we were able to test it out really well, 16 to 17 kilometers per liter on the highway, which is nothing short of phenomenal, especially for a car that's not an EV or not electrified or not a hybrid at all. So when it comes to fuel economy, you don't have to worry about it because, again, the CVT, man, Mitsubishi definitely knows how to make this. I wish that they give the Expander and Expander Cross a CVT. I've never thought that I'd say this, but I actually wish that those cars had CVT. If their CVTs are going to be this good. So when it comes to safety features, this is the first time that I've seen a Mitsubishi at this price point with a complete suite of active and passive safety features. Of course, you got airbags. You got driver and passenger airbag and side airbags. The GLS does not have side airbags though. You only get the 2 airbags up front. You also have ABS, electronic brake force distribution. You've got traction control and stability control, the standard stuff. And of course, like I said, the top of the line variant has the advanced driver assist system. So you got forward collision warning. It also has forward collision braking. Forward collision braking, so it helps you out even more so during emergency braking. You got rear parking sensors. You got a backup camera. You got lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and of course, adaptive cruise control. Everybody wants to have adaptive cruise control, and I'm glad to say that finally Mitsubishi was able to bring it into their budget offering, which is this one right here. So pricing for the Mitsubishi XForce starts at 1,367,000 pesos for the entry-level GLS variant. Do you remember a time when the GLS variant used to be top of the line one? But yeah, the GLS variant will start at that price. And if you want to get this one, this is the full-fat version GT variant. This one starts at 1,581,000 pesos. So at 1,581,000 pesos, you do get some very significant and additional features above the GLS. For example, the adaptive cruise control complete that comes along with the advanced driver assist systems. You got blind spot monitoring and all that. That's pretty nice tool. So with the GLS variant, also you don't get the soft touch here on the dashboard, this fabric material, and you also get fabric seats instead of cooled leather. So you definitely lose on some of the items that you might want to consider getting yourself. But when it comes to the other features here, they come as standard. The drive, how it looks on the outside, those come as standard. Now, when it comes to the genuine accessories, those are a different deal. So if you want to check them out, we'll be posting a link in the description box below to Mitsubishi's website, so you can check them out for yourself. We've also indicated their price as I was doing my walk around earlier for you to consider it. So you can actually differentiate your car. It's going to be something special. And trust me, 10 years down the line, if you're driving up to your next car club meet, when you're like, what, 40, 50, you're gonna thank yourself for getting those deals, because a lot of people will say, hey, you got the catalog build, and we like that. So at that price point though, the Mitsubishi XForce is going to be in an uphill battle. The reason behind that is that most of its competition, it's got a lot of the tech and a lot of the features that customers in this segment are looking for. But most of those rivals have turbochargers, for example. But apart from that, that's all. So that's my full review of the Mitsubishi XForce. Again, it's not trying too hard to be too fast, too far, or too efficient. It just wants to be a good, nice, everyday daily driver. And I think it ticks a lot of the boxes of what guys are looking for, especially in this particular segment. I know you guys have a lot of opinions about the Mitsubishi XForce, so I want to hear them. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below and join the conversation. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. I want to hear from you guys very soon. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.